and I'm starting to stream. And then it popped up.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure about that?
John Cena just comes busting through my TV. Are you sure about that?
Are you sure? Are you positive?
No, I'm not pregnant. The fuck, man.
What the hell?
Toxic Game Sessions. I'm live. Would you look at that? Although it keeps telling me there's a loading error.
Loading error. Psh. Pshaw and pshaw.
Toxic Game Sessions. I'm live. Would you look at that? Although it keeps telling me there's a loading error. Okay.
Pshaw and pshaw.
Pshaw. What about porn?
You're too young to handle it.
Sure.
Oh,
sure, we'll
my
go with
God.
That.
All right.
So did you see that Mini-Me is dead?
Yeah, I saw that. It's sad, but it in no way affects my life.
That's what you said the last time someone died.
I know, because it in no way affects my life. Until someone in my life dies or I die.
Right.
No
Headline pops up tomorrow. Headline pops up tomorrow. If this actually happens, I did not kill him. I'm just letting everyone know.
Yes, he did. He did it.
Headline pops up tomorrow. Headline pops up tomorrow. Stan Lee's dead. What do you do?
Oh wow. I hate to be that emotionless bastard, but like
you bastard. By the way, that is not a paid promotion for Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I just really like Baja Blast, but I should totally get sponsored for that shit.
You should totally be a Baja Blast. Oh, man.
When Halo 5 was first released, I got 6 cases of Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and I took off 3 days of work. Those 6 cases were gone by the end of day 2. I drink way too much Baja Blast. I'm gonna die of just way too much Baja Blast in my bloodstream. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I know. It's the life of a gamer, right? Just to do things that are unhealthy for us, right? Real gamers.
Of course.
Real gamers will always do the most unhealthy things to their bodies.
Exactly. Although there are those some gamers who sit there and all they do is sit there and just work out and then play games whenever they're not working out. That's their lifestyle. Do they eat? No. Do they sleep? No. It's either workout or game.
Who needs to eat and sleep?
Who cares about eating and sleeping? Why do we need to do that? I'm going to go ahead and take a picture here for Instagram. That way it's up and everyone knows about it.
Alright, I'm done. I'm done
Why
being creepy as fuck.
Why are you being creepy? Don't be creepy.
Because I can fucking be creepy, alright?
Right. Which Spice Girl are you stalking now?
Which one am I not stalking? Which one aren't I stalking? Would be the proper nomenclature, I believe. Which one isn't being stalked by me?
That's concerning.
Now watch, in like 20 minutes time, the FBI is gonna come knocking on my door.
Yeah, that would be actually really concerning.
Oh my god. Alright, welcome to your bi-weekly sort of dose of toxic game sessions. We are live, I think.
I would hope that. I would hope so.
I think we're live.
Well, I mean, according to YouTube, it says that I'm live. Maybe you're not live, but I am.
According to YouTube.
No, wait. Are we talking about live, or are we talking about alive, like blood pumping through our veins? Because I cannot confirm nor deny if I am alive.
I'm just a social construct.
So if I stop believing in you, does that mean you go away?
I'll disappear. I'll fade into the nothingness.
Fuck, you're still there.
I'm still there. Damn.
Damn it didn't work. Oh,
Didn't work.
did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Didn't
sorry.
work. I wish you did not exist anymore.
Fuck. Suddenly just dies. I wish you didn't
Alright,
exist
so
anymore. Oops.
alright, so now that we're 7 minutes into this debauchery.
Oh wait, only 7 minutes, huh? And we're already this toxic.
Well, technically only like 6 minutes, but 6.5. But no, I'm not keeping track.
Sure you aren't. Sure you aren't.
All right. So recently, well, not so recently, a couple months ago, we all remember the whole EA games, the biggest controversy EA games has ever produced, right?
I would say it's one of the biggest controversies in gaming history.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest, since the whole Mortal Kombat being the reason for the ESRB being created.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
But a couple months back, my brother decided to pick up Battlefront 2, and I have access to his PlayStation, right? The PlayStation account, and I decided to play it. Right? I decided, all right, you know what? I'll download it to my PlayStation. I'll play it, and I'll try it out, and I'll give it a chance before I start judging it. And while I wasn't a fan to begin with of the whole microtransaction, pay-to-play system, I gave it that opportunity, right? I gave it that chance.
Right.
I should not have. I just started playing it this week. I've put in only a couple of hours into it. Probably more time than any game I've ever played that has deserved any of my time. I could have played any of those titles, but no.
No, you had to pick that one.
I had to pick that one.
Now see, my thing is that, the campaign was not great. I will not say it was great. It definitely was not what it was marketed. It was definitely not what it was marketed, because it was marketed to be, you're an Imperial, you're fighting for the Empire. And then not even 3 missions, and guess what? She's a fucking rebel.
Yeah. I would have loved a story. I would have loved a story that took place leading up to the Death Star being destroyed, right? And you get into the campaign, and the campaign for like the first few missions is great. The story is great.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? Ball dropped.
Yeah. So, like, it gets to a good point. Like, I don't mind if it's only an hour-long story, because at least it's something, right?
Right.
You get up to the Death Star being destroyed, and that should have been the end of it. That should have been the end of it, right? We know that for a fact. But yet they had to keep just pounding shit into it and dragging it out to make it longer than it actually was. I'd have been fine with an hour-long campaign mode, story mode.
Yeah, there's several games that aren't even that long that are still great today.
I know. You can play any of the Mario titles in like under like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, you just sit there and skip through it. And why are you yelling, tiny human? We're not talking to you.
There's a child. There's a child.
We rearranged the rooms, and he's got his whole new play area, and he's just like, what?
What you need to do is just wall them off in a soundproof booth for an hour and a half each day. Just be like, here you go.
He's gonna be right here.
So
he heard you. He didn't like that idea.
He didn't like that idea. No. But my problems with the game don't end at the campaign. No. The character models. Let's talk the character models. All right. They are probably where they got the CG ideas for
Tarkin.
For Tarkin for one, and for young Leia on what was it, Rogue One? In Rogue One, they And there, they probably EA was probably forced to do the job for those character models, because the character model for the Leia in that game looks exactly like the character, uh, the actor for young Leia on Rogue One, and then it's just terrible. Like, all of the characters don't look like the characters they should be.
And see, one thing that pisses me off the most is that instead of sitting there and trying to continue Aiden's story, it's just nah.
We're not gonna bother.
You want to follow this story? This story right here that we made you like, or at least we attempted to make you like. We're gonna go for that nostalgia effect. Don't you yell at me.
Here's the thing: is there always, like, EA Games is on the social justice bandwagon? I think we both know this, and they're like, representation, and they finally give us a likable female character, right? Not to say that there aren't, because if you've played Lollipop Chainsaw, I forget her name off the top of my head, but she was a great character to pal around with for a few hours.
I can't even remember her character name now.
Yeah, it'll come to me later. It'll come to me. It's like stewing right here in my brain, but it's been so long since I played it.
Juliet, that's her name. There
Juliet
we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you it would come to. Juliet is a great character to pal around with. You get to get to know her and what she's all about, and you get to know her backstory, and you get to know her character in the span of a 6-hour gameplay. And then that's a great character. And then I can't, Samus is the classic character, the first lady in gaming.
Yeah, and if you take a look at Princess Peach from Mario and many of the games where she's just been a playable character in general, that she in and of herself, as well as her sister Daisy, are also really nice and likable characters. Really powerful characters if you think about it, because there are several times in the Mario Kingdom where they have to go against shit themselves.
Exactly. And I'm fine with a good female character, and I think most of us are. And when they say gamers just hate women, no, we want to see good characters. Tomb Raider,
of course, then there are always those assholes. So
yeah, Tomb Raider's kind of dumb for me. So I never really spent much time in a Tomb Raider game because I just didn't care.
Well, I say Tomb Raider is a great game. It's just not a game for me. But I will sit there and say that Lara Croft is definitely a great character. She is an amazing character, especially having to go through what she goes through in game and sit there, her storyline to go through all that.
No, it's a good adventure.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure game, but it's not something I like. It's just dumb to me. It's I don't like the treasure hunting thing. So I would never play
If I wanted Indiana Jones, I'd go get Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So something to that extent. I don't need a female reboot of something that's already been done. Just give me a character. Give me an original character. All right? That's all I'm asking for. Give me an original character. I don't care if it's a rock. I don't care if you turned a pair of fucking shears here. I got a pair of shears on my desk for some reason.
Well, I mean, there's that whole getting over it where the dude was literally a pot.
Yeah.
It was a great character. It was lovable. Oh, so amazing. His story.
Lollipop Chainsaw, how her boyfriend was just a head.
He was literally a head.
He was just a head stuck to her belt. And he gets a zombie body at the end of the game, which is hilarious. Or throughout the game, I should say, because she's constantly putting it on there, and then it goes all rhythm game and really weird. But at the same time, it
wasn't already really weird.
No, it was definitely already weird. But outside of that, it was further weird.
Yes.
So the discussion here isn't whether or not she's a good character, right? Eden is a good character or not. We started to get involved with her, and the game had started to, within the first couple of minutes, become immersive, and then it breaks you out of that immersion so that she can be boss man, basically, and tell everyone what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, she is technically the captain of the squad, and that's
Well,
you
she was the commander.
know, yeah,
Yeah,
she was in charge of
but
it. But the way they break it is they just make it so unreasonable that she had served the Empire her entire life, had been loyal her entire life, and then all of a sudden the Death
yeah,
Star gets blown up and she gets, helped by a
she gets
couple of people, and she's like,
disenfranchised.
oh, I'm just gonna go be a good guy, just like in Rogue One.
Well,
The
my
main character
problem
of
with
Rogue
Leader
One
is,
was like, I don't know how to be a leader, but all of a sudden, because I have to be a leader, I'm a powerful leader.
yeah, that's the problem, is that she was brought into the Alliance under the pretense of, we could use your help. You're a drudge now. But even then, before that, leading up to like when the Death Star blows up, they get these orders from their dead emperor to start blowing up their own planets within the Empire so that the rest of the Empire stays in fear. That's the point you decide to turn. That's when you decide, oh, maybe these guys aren't so good after all.
It's not
Maybe
the
they're not looking out.
enslaving. It's not when freaking what is it? 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 What is the fucking planet? Alderaan. Why did I blank out for a second?
Yeah,
Alderaan
the
gets blown
destruction of
up.
Alderaan. I'm like thinking that too. I'm like in the back of my head, oh, the destruction of Alderaan wasn't enough. The countless millions of people living on the planet's surface wasn't enough.
Of course not. What? She's currently being eaten alive by the tiny human. I'll be right back.
Good job.
Oh, there's that.
Tiny
Good
human.
job.
Tiny human. Why are you eating your mommy? It's because you put the tablet in front of you and you want to see what's going on.
No.
Yeah. No eating the mommy. Give me Gio. Give me Gio. Give me Gio. Why are you making that weird thing? Ito. No, now he's mad that I moved him. But yeah, they definitely broke everything that they were trying to set up.
Yeah, and that's the biggest insult, right? That's the biggest insult this story has, I think. And when you claim to want to put out a great character, that's not how you do it. You don't go ahead and build the character up just to literally ignore her 10 minutes into the game. Because if you're good at shooting games, if you're good at FPSs or third person shooters, you're gonna get through the first few missions in 15 minutes. It admittedly took me way too fucking long to get through the first 3 missions, but I also know that I am dog shit when it comes to playing out with a controller and mouse, or a controller rather than a keyboard and mouse. And I think maybe I would have been through the first few missions a little bit faster had I played it on PC, and it might have been more enjoyable on PC, at least for me, to get through those missions.
Now,
but
other than the story, I actually kind of enjoyed the multiplayer a little bit. It was alright. It's something to play for a little while. It's a good time waster. But
yeah, but even when you think about the original Battlefront,
it lacks the diversity and the the expanse of what it should have been. It's literally 5, maybe 6 maps?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a valid point. But even we knew what we were getting when they announced the original, not the original Battlefront, the original EA Battlefront. We knew what we were getting. We knew that it wasn't going to be the same amount of immersiveness that the original Battlefront games were.
See,
You know,
my thing is that if they wanted to continue that series, well, not continue it, but if they wanted to make it to where they would have made more money than what they did with
they
Battlefront 2, they would have made it with the Expanse, because that was one of the major complaints with Battlefront 1 is that there was hardly any maps, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just release them as DLC." And that's something that, pissed a lot of people off, and me especially. It's like, seriously, it's just like with Destiny. Here's gameplay from things that we've already taken out of the game and plan on using as DLC later.
yeah.
But instead, EA is like, we're just not going to say that we have
Don't
them,
get me
and we're
started
just
on
going to sit there and...
Destiny.
No, Destiny. I fucking hate Destiny. You and me both. In that boat. Just... I sat there and made a comment on a post on in a Halo group earlier. It's diehard Bungie fan. It's sad to see where they've gone. It's sad to see them go, or hard to believe that they're gone. And diehard Bungie fan too. Where it's so easy. They've just died.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Continuing on. The point being is that you can't disrespect your fans. You cannot do it. This is something we see time and time again. We saw it in Ghostbusters, where there was that level of disrespect toward the fans, where all the fans who had legitimate complaints, who had legitimate concerns, when even Ernie Hudson himself had come out and said, well, "This is kind of a dumb idea," and then later recanted to say, "Oh, just go see it, blah blah blah." You can't disrespect the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I brought up with Jeff on a few streams back, where you can't just say, fans, look, fuck you, you don't matter.
And you can't sit there and say, well, we're going to make, this. Of course, making a game the way you want it is supposed to be something that you can do. But at the same time, if you're making a game in a specific style for a certain fan base that you've already established something with, this is what's going to be drawn out, this is how it's going to be, and it's going to be from this universe. If you take the fan base who supports that and just sit there and go, yeah, no, pa.
Yeah. But a larger issue is like I said, it is disrespecting the fans. But you also have to look at, you also can't break up your story that you've already started working on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get it to a point and then make it incoherent halfway through.
Right.
And that's what we got with the campaign mode. Don't even bother talking about the bugs in the game, because there are certain bugs in the game. I've played it on PlayStation 4, and there's still a lot of bugs. Like, I saw a lot of character glitching, a lot of character glitch models.
A lot. It definitely in the story. It's like they didn't even care to touch the story after they had sent it out.
They haven't even patched the story, and they don't care about it. There's even that one part in the game where I haven't passed it because it's too fucking frustrating for me, where you play as Han Solo and you've got to hold off a horde of stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, that was extra annoying.
And you're supposed to get to a certain point. Like, I've seen gameplay footage, I've seen people beat it, and they set it up in such a way where, if you're playing it the wrong way, like, there's a very specific way you have to do it. And if you're playing it the wrong way while Chewie's getting the Falcon ready to lift off, you're just going to get hordes and hordes and hordes of stormtroopers shoving their fucking rifles up your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of it. I've actually gotten into that. I've tried that so many times at this point. I've had 3 or 4 attempts where, as soon as the game loaded in, I was dead without a shot being fired at me because of the bugs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, as far as bugs, I think there's something that also needs to be talked about is buffs and nerfs, because there are definitely some powers in game that just allow players to dominate without doing much of anything.
And they want it that way. They want it that way so they can sell their loot boxes.
Well,
Which I
they've
think is
actually changed that. They've changed the loot boxes now to where they're only cosmetics. That's something that they have fixed in the most recent update. But still, it's those people who already have it that are just already overpowered.
Well, they want it that way, and I know why they want it that way. And it is, like, even if they've changed the loot boxes, they still haven't changed the system in which the loot box is purchased. You get into a game, and you get your shit wrecked, and it incentivizes you to buy loot boxes so that you'll get those powers or you'll get those weapons. And even if it's just cosmetic, I'm sure that they're still sneaking in some stuff that that make those cosmetic changes more than just surface. You know? And that's another huge issue that EA doesn't want to address, because again, I'm not going to fault them for wanting to make money. I'm not going to. But I am going to fault them for...
They're a company. They gotta make money.
Right. You're, as a corporation, as a company, you have to make money or you will you will drown, right? If you don't make any money, you'll go out of business, you'll go bankrupt, and however many people you employ are going to be out of a job, which creates more national debt.
In the washer, yeah.
But this isn't an economics stream, is it?
Yeah. Now, and definitely one of the things that I have to say that I hate about certain characters is the Darth Maul is way, way too overpowered. Because he sits there, and I was literally, if I had the clip right here, right now, I could sit there and pull it up and show everyone. I was halfway across the map. Darth Maul wasn't even near me. I think I had just spawned in, and all of a sudden I am yanked into the center of the map, and Darth Maul just starts hashing and slashing, and I'm dead within just 2 seconds. I spawn, I run out, pulled into the center of the map from halfway across the map, and I'm dead. And it's like, seriously, that cannot be how that power works. And everyone's like, oh, well, that's how it works. He can sit there and he can pull people from a distance. And I sat there, and one thing that pissed me off is, like, nobody else got pulled into the center of the map. It was literally like he had looked at my character and just yanked.
Yeah, I haven't played too much of the online stuff because I know there are still glitches, and I don't want to jump into a game that everyone else has been playing since launch and just get completely owned because of the fact that everyone else has those weapons, they have those power-ups, and I'm not going to be incentivized, quote unquote, to purchase those loot boxes, to purchase those weapons on their own. I'm not going to do it. It's the same with Fortnite for me. I'm not going to put money into a game that I don't want to have to pay to enjoy. Like,
well, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay to enjoy Fortnite. Fortnite's free.
It is free, right?
They do have V-Bucks, which strictly only ever buy cosmetics. They have no upgrades available when you get those V-Bucks. There is the story, which allows you to get, characters and stuff with V-Bucks, or allows you to grab a couple of things.
You can't get any of those unless you pay for the full game. Yeah,
and the full game, you could sit there, and base game is $40 if you want to get that. And even then, they don't necessarily even give you that much of an upgrade, because it's strictly just against the enemies, and the enemies get harder as you go. So you could get one over... Even then, it doesn't always give you something good.
No, it
and
won't.
Then you can't use it because you also are level restricted for certain things.
Yeah, but if you pay for the $60 version of the game, you get a ton of weapons, you get a ton of armor, you get all this extra shit, and automatically whoever doesn't is at a disadvantage. And that's not necessarily a pro or a con to the game. It's just that if it's supposed to be a free title, um,
Now,
where
I do want to sit there and say one
everyone,
thing is my sister has the game because we game share, but she
right,
didn't.
yeah,
She of course doesn't get all of the stuff since I paid for the Founders
right,
Edition and all that.
yeah,
I got all that extra stuff. She didn't get any of that because, of course, it's not her account. It's not her account that
right,
all that was
yeah,
linked to, but she was still able to play, and she was doing way better than me because she didn't have all that extra stuff. She didn't get all that
yeah.
extra stuff, and it was way better just getting some of the
Some
random
players,
guns.
some players can do it. I personally am not one of those players. But if you're going to market it as a free game, make it a free game. If you want to market it as a paid for game,
Well,
where
the story mode is actually coming out for free anyway in June.
that's fine, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm just not a fan of early access titles or titles in general that go after your wallet every time you log in. And I think people who pay for this stuff, and going back to the Star Wars, topic, is people who do pay for these loot boxes, who pay for the powers, who pay for the weapons, who pay for this and that and the other thing, are idiots. They're absolute idiots, and they're allowing this trend to continue. They're allowing publishers to get away with reaching into your wallet every second of every day. And where's the stopping point, right? Where's the point where we go enough,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Once it's already there, there's no stopping it. That's the way I see
No.
it. It's because it's already done. They've already figured loot boxes are a thing. They might as well stay, whether they're for cosmetics or power-ups. The way I look at it is now that they're already here, since there is nothing that we can do them to stop them from being here, is they should at
Except
least
for
be for cosmetics.
except for not paying for them. If you don't pay for them, if everyone today were to go, you know what, this is enough. I've had it, right? I need to show this company that enough is enough. And I get one person by themselves making this stand, making this choice, excuse me, isn't enough. And you need more people to say, look, this is unacceptable. And I think collectively, the more people that say this is unacceptable, collectively, they'll learn that they're not going to be able to pay for, or they're not going to be able to make us pay for these things, right? They're not going to be able to go, well, we had a good run, let's pack it up. Is essentially what they're going to say is we're going to stop doing this. Games like Overwatch get it right because it is just cosmetic. You cannot buy any weapons or any extra power-ups or anything outside of the game.
Because aren't all the weapons for the characters already just programmed to the characters?
They're specific. Yeah, they're character specific. Each character has a specific weapon, regardless of whether or not it borrows traits from another weapon or not.
It's just a singular weapon. They don't get like say like in Halo, like with their rec packs, you can't sit there and get a modified version of the same gun that does something different against different things.
Exactly. And even when you go back to in-game purchases, I think a game that does it right, that doesn't necessarily it's not there yet, which I think it might be. It might get there, given enough time. But Radical Heights does it right, where you can find cash in game as a pickup, and you carry it with you throughout the time you play there. And while I get people like Fortnite, I don't necessarily think that Fortnite is going to hang around for much longer if Radical Heights picks up. Simply for that one reason. Not too many people want to pay for the in-game loot boxes. Not too many people want to pay for the in-game cosmetics or the power-ups.
Well, as I said with Fortnite, you don't. Most people play the free version, and that's not even an option in the free version. In the free version, there are no pinatas. There are none
No,
of
there
that
aren't.
stuff.
No, there aren't.
They don't
And
have
having
to. They don't have to even worry
right,
about loot and all that because all you got to do is run through the game and you get your loot that way.
but you do have to worry about other people spawning in with weapons,
No,
and that does put you well, at
no,
least on PC,
not in
because
free
people,
version.
yeah, on free version. I've spawned in because they use the same servers on PC for the free version as they do the regular version. The only difference is they lock you out of game modes. So I'll go into Battle Royale, and there will be people who spawn in with machine guns and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah,
Well, I've never had that happen. I play on Xbox all the
I know
time.
you play on the Xbox, so it could just be different servers with a different set of rules. But that's what I've had happen to me is I'll spawn in, and someone will have machine gun, flamethrower, not flamethrower, but you get the idea. Is they'll spawn in with a weapon, and as soon as you touch down, you're dead.
Are you sure it's not just people already landing and going for the loot?
No, it's because I've landed alongside other people,
Hmm.
and only to be killed off right away. So,
Damn.
it is like it is hardcore, like hard for me to play at least. While I do enjoy Fortnite, I play it pretty frequently, not as often as I play other stuff. And they do a good job of making sure like the pinatas, loot boxes aren't too terrible. Like most of it is cosmetic. I just
As
have
far as I know,
just
it's
have
all
that issue.
cosmetic.
No, on PC it's different. If I'll actually look it up for you. Fortnite, not 40 NTE. Because when you buy the deluxe version, or not the deluxe version, come on. All right. My internet is taking forever to load. But if you get the deluxe edition for $60,
Hmm.
you get the rare weapon starter pack, which has the pistol in it.
Hmm.
You get 50 volts extra, or 50 volt inventory slots, 10 in-game banner icons, 10 experience boost, 10 experience boost to share.
Hmm.
And then you get some weapons. You get the rare weapon starter pack, which I think I already said. But it includes the breacher schematic, the pistol, and then the hero starter pack, which gives you 2 heroes from each class, 33 pinatas, and then everything else I mentioned.
Yeah, that does give you a little bit of boost, but as I said, it's only in the PvE environment.
It's still because that's all you get on PC is the PvE battle royale. Or the
PvE,
PvP.
there's PvE, and then there's the PvP. In PvP, I've never seen anyone spawn in with that. But then again,
I just have, and it's not fun when you spawn or when you drop in to someone who's already carrying and you get your brains splattered all over. But
my one thing is that I've dropped in, and by the time I drop, there's already somebody at my location, or I drop in with a person going to the same place. I'll drop in at one spot because I see them dropping at a spot where I know there's going to be a chest with weapons. So I try going to a different spot, and by the time I get to the chest, they're already blowing my brains out.
Yeah. I do like finding
not
the
like that.
golden...
Not like that. You don't take that out of context.
I didn't. You're the one who did.
I'm talking to the internet.
I
have to talk
to the internet.
You
can't talk to
You
the
can talk to the internet. They just don't answer back. Unless it's in chat.
At the internet. You can talk at the internet. See, there's a difference.
It's one of those. One of those.
But I do I do like certain aspects of it. Like I do like the golden chests that you can find randomly. I almost always find them in the back of the dump trucks.
There's this one spot at the very top of the map that I go to. It's a little wooden house. There's always either a chest in the very top, down on one of the little patios of it, or in a other room. There's always at least one, if not 3 chests.
Yeah.
If there's not the 3, then there's either 1, 2, at one point. That's the way it always is there. I'm actually gonna try and see. I'm gonna try and find that. I'm gonna try and find that clip to see if I actually have it.
Oh, that's all right, man.
There's just a bunch of injustice clips. Skippity, 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 skippity.
But yeah, I think honestly, if they had just put more effort into the campaign mode, I would have been happy with Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm all right with it because it's just it's a time waster for me. It's all right to sit there and play once in a while, but I still it's like I love a good Star Wars campaign. And I'm a major Star Wars fan. I absolutely love almost all things Star Wars.
Oh, I know you do. You're the biggest Star Wars geek I have ever met.
It's just,
and if that isn't evident to anyone with the schematics behind his head,
I also have a custom-made lightsaber as well.
Yeah.
And like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I will always bring up Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic in comparing a good Star Wars game. You want a good Star Wars game, you need something that has a story. It doesn't have to be, all the side quests and stuff, but a story that follows a point like Knights of the Old Republic.
Or it could just be TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter was a great game, and that had no story.
Yeah, if you want to go with space battles and just, battles in general.
I loved TIE Fighter. That was the only, TIE Fighter, and there was, I think, Academy, I think it was called.
Star Wars Jedi Knights Academy.
It was on the 64, and I played the hell out of
That's
that
actually
game.
going to be coming back on backwards compatible for Xbox here soon.
Why?
Because they made it backwards compatible, as well as Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Star Wars Starfighter, as well as Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, that game, and several other Star Wars games. I know Republic Commando is coming back as well, and both OG Battlefronts are coming back as well. So you're about to see that Star Wars Battlefront playlist go from heh to heh. Because everyone's going to be going back to the OG games.
I don't know, man. I don't like seeing a Nintendo, because at the time I think it was a Nintendo exclusive, as well it was on the 64. I don't like seeing old Nintendo exclusives going to everything else because I don't.
Well, they're taking original Xbox back. Right. They're taking original Xbox games and making them backwards compatible. It's not like they're taking it and remaking it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, they're just taking old Xbox titles and adding them, like Conquer Live, Conquer's Battle Live, or whatever it was. Yeah. That one's now backwards compatible. Destroy All Humans is coming out on backwards compatibility as well. They're just... Xbox is currently just trying to focus on their backwards compatibility at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't fault them for it. It's definitely great to be able to play these old games.
It is going to drive their value on eBay up.
Yeah. And I think that's something that Microsoft is actually going for, is to try and do that for these old games. But they're also trying to get those nostalgia lovers back as well.
Yeah, they're trying to get, I never really put a whole lot of stock into nostalgia. Granted, there are a few things that I still like from, for the sake of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. I still got an old Superboy in over there, and I got a GameCube stacked up over there. I was actually planning on hooking up to one of these.
I have my Game Boy sitting on my desk somewhere amongst the clutter that I still play Pokemon trading card game on. So, I mean, there are a few things that I'm still, I guess you could consider I'm nostalgic for.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's really nostalgia if you're constantly going back to it and have been going back to it since it came out.
It's more of just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Even though that, yes, it's an older game, or yes, it's an older system, it's not always technically about the nostalgia. It's just enjoying it in general. Like, here we go again. Knights of the Old Republic. Thousands and thousands of hours into that game, dude. Not even kidding you.
And you always talk about it.
Exactly. I will always come back to it. It's one of maybe 6 games that I've actually put in, you know, a lot of effort to keep up with, and a lot of effort to, you know, take care of.
The progression, as good as that game is, the progression system in that game is a nightmare. Navigate.
it's a little confusing, especially if you're just kind of just going into it just to play the story. If you don't want to sit there and like, oh, I want to make sure that I can do the most damage, or I want to be, you know, I want to be quick, I want to be able to do this or that or whatever, you know, it's hard to navigate. Which is why I always leave the other characters, the other characters on a auto level up, because I don't, fuck them, I'm done.
Yeah,
they can level themselves up. They can navigate their own thing. Me,
tap Y.
Me, I have my own specific thing. I always go in and I level it up a certain way, because I'm one of those people who like to do damage pretty quickly, and so I always go for the force burst of speed and the flurry move, and I always go for double bladed weapons. Just because.
Halfway through my first character in that game, I just said fuck it, and the only thing I ever like went in and did manually was, do you want to be light side or dark side? Let me think. Dark side. Force lightning. Thank you.
Yeah. See, my thing is, when I was a kid, I always went light side. I could never do dark side because I was always afraid of hurting a character's feelings. And even now, even if I'm doing a dark side playthrough, I don't keep any of the light side characters around me because I'm afraid they'll judge me too harshly. I'm just like, I don't want that.
You're a terrible person.
I'm just gonna keep the bad guys with me. That way they don't judge me.
Colby?
What?
Can you like hurry up a little bit? I'm trying to eat.
Alright.
Thank you.
Somebody's in trouble with the wife.
I don't like a tiny human staring at my face while I try to eat.
Well, hey, lucky you, you're eating. I didn't even know there was food.
Uh-oh.
Hurry up.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Jerry!
This is not going on Jerry Springer. Shut up. It's only abuse if I'm a sore loser. That line's always coming up. That line is just an inside joke now between me and her and everyone, pretty much. It's a joke that everyone has.
Now it belongs to the internet.
It's a joke that belongs to the internet now. It will forever be on the internet. And hopefully it will spread.
If you have hurt feelings.
It's not abuse if you have hurt feelings.
Oh, it's not abuse if you have hurt feelings. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's not abuse if you're a sore loser.
The Cheeto, another popular meme.
He has Cheetos and he has poofs, and that's one quick surefire way to shush him up.
No, it's not, because he's still picking at me. Hurry.
Because you have different food.
Well, you can't eat this food.
Well, I guess I'm done.
You're done. You're fired.
I'm fired.
You're fired.
You fired.
Alright. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
But I streamed a little bit earlier today, just because I wanted to try it. I streamed a little bit of the OG Battlefront 2, so make sure that if you guys are watching and want to see that, you go ahead and check it out, because it was a lot of fun. And you shush, tiny human! You don't tell me my stream was bad!
The chat has just been dead. Oh, hey, Johnny, how's it going?
Oh, you have someone chatting? I don't have anyone chatting. I've got literally 0. Although one of your friends says hi.
Beauty on the right. Wow. John, I don't know what.
Am I gonna have to cut a bitch?
I don't know what we're gonna do with you, buddy.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's great.
Well done.
Oh man.
With
well,
that insult, my pride is now skyrocketed to nothing.
it is plummeted faster than Enron stock.
Oh god. That's pretty fast. It's faster than the speed of Brian.
Hey, it went down faster than I can't say it. I can't say it.
It went found out faster than a crack whore on Friday.
No, I was gonna say something a lot more offensive. Believe me.
Yeah, wait until it's no streams to be offensive, alright? We can be toxic, we can't be offensive. YouTube's rules. First rule of YouTube's training. First rule of YouTube's training.
First rule.
Dragon Ball Z reference. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. I'm done.
Alright,
See
we're
you,
done
dude.
for tonight.